Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 1v1 on Semoskiy Winter. That's right, we are back to the fields of Semoskiy Winter, because we only come back every once in a while, not for multiple games in a row like I did once. Anyways, our heroes today are going to be MoaningMinnie, playing for the Soviets. And his opponent today is going to be CoH2, or CaptainSPrice, or I don't know exactly what he calls himself, but he is going to be playing as the Germans. Now, right off the bat, you do see that Sprice, or Captain has selected his Doctrine, and that is a Jaeger Armor Doctrine, opening up with Tier 1 and getting himself 2 Grenadier Squads. However, I guess you could say, more interesting than that is that Moaning Myrtle has gone for a Tier 1 opening, which you don't see too often. More often than not, you see no tech and just going straight for conscripts. He does build himself a conscript squad regardless, but opens up with a scout car, which is very interesting. The combat engineers are currently out in the middle of the field, not getting upgraded with any flamethrowers because they can't, and the conscripts are moving over to the right-hand side going for the fuel. So the scout car really won't have any units for now to garrison. I suppose it could, but it's not going to gain a super advantage, but it still will help push with units because, yeah, I mean, these guys will not have a flamethrower, so it's not going to be a flame scout car, but, it's still helpful to push infantry and even get behind MG42, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. So the conscripts, they move straight into the house. They pop in to be able to get a survey of the area. They notice nobody's around, so they pop out and are going to capture the point. And then the half-track moves, or well, scout car, I guess you could say, moves the combat engineer squad over to capture the point right next to it. It decides to abandon it as it notices that the victory point is being capped. Opens up with its, I believe, is it 30 cal or 50 cal? It doesn't say. I forget what it says. But anyways, it opens up with a machine gun in front of it, and it kills one of the grenadiers outright. They move into heavy cover, so that allows them to stay alive, but the scout car just moves out of the way and gets another angle and opens up on the grenadiers, forcing them away down to one man. They do manage to capture the point at the same time, however, so while CaptainSPrice did take damage there and had to retreat, he wasn't really stopped there as much as what he wanted to capture. Doctrine selected there for Moaning Myrtle. He goes for, I think I'm going to call him that the rest of the game, guard mortar coordination tactics. So we'll see what he gets from there. Scout car moves back into the center. Nice little thing about having this, it's a very mobile platform, so it can be in multiple places almost at once, but moves up. Grenadiers get themselves in heavy cover, move up a little bit, trying to get in range of that scout car, although the scout car is not going to have Faust capabilities, I don't think, just yet. I doubt it. We see another scout car getting produced for Mr. Moaning, and we see 3 Grand Squads and an MG42 on the field for CaptainSPrice. The MG42 moving up into the house here. Grenadier squad in the center forced away, and the conscripts back off as they notice that the MG42 pops into the house. Scout car moves back, gonna get repaired there by the combat engineers. The conscript's still on the field, just moving around. One of the squads is just there for defense, and the other one is moving over to the left-hand side to start capturing that territory. Another scout car on the field for Mr. Moaning, and on the far right-hand side, the conscripts are captured. What we have is grenadiers on the field for CaptainSPrice, so we'll see what he decides to go for. He goes for another grenadier squad. So interesting, wanting to have a lot of infantry presence. And there goes the scout car barreling down up to the north, going to catch that pioneer squad, but the pioneer squad retreats quite quickly, allowing it to actually stay alive, because the scout car is now actually caught in the snow. Going to take it a little while to get out of there. It turns itself around and then moves back to meet the other scout car, and we now have a pair of scout cars on the field. Quite nice. MG42 in the house will open up on the scout car as it passes in front. Doesn't do too much damage, but you notice now that it does do damage, as the MG guns for both sides were actually modified now to have penetration against light vehicles. So while they won't take them down, in one shot or anything, they can't just simply stand in front of it and take shots indefinitely. Conscripts on the right-hand side were forced to wait, not before they captured the points. They might have actually been queued up to retreat, although we see some grenadiers moving in that direction, so it may have been an engagement gone wrong in this side, potentially. Penal Battalion now on the field for CaptainSPrice. I'm assuming this one is probably going to be the one that gets upgraded with the flamethrower. No, actually, the combat engineers that are currently inside that car are getting upgraded with the flamethrower, and there goes the upgrade. Penal Battalion might also do it as well and pop into the other scout car, but we'll see. And he could also call in guard squads later on, although he doesn't, have the command points to get them just yet. But he could also call them on later if he wanted to go for the famous Marcus car. So scout cars moves over to the right-hand side. They run into a grenadier squad. And we have the flamethrower squad coming in for the flank. Got to get right behind there. There goes the flamethrower burst on the grenadier squad. The grenadier squad is forced to back off a little bit. Loses one of its men. Second grenadier squad on the far right-hand side. Getting some nice damage here on this scout car with the flamethrower engineers. And two more grenadier squads push on the scout cars. They might actually get in range to throw a Faust. A nice flame burst goes off there by that scout car and gets one of the grenadiers out in the open, but not too much damage goes down. Penal Battalion pops into the house. Decent amount of windows in this direction to be able to inflict damage on the Grents, and the Grents will not be able to inflict too much damage on the squad at the same time as they are inside the house, and they gain the cover from that. And in this angle, pretty much all the squad members inside are getting shots in. Scout car moves down and is going to open up on the grenadiers. There's a lot of grenadiers on this side. They are a little bit too clumped up. Mortar or something like that would be wonderful here, but fortunately though for CaptainSPrice, there's nothing of that nature on the field right now. Scout car, however, is moving in and providing additional support fire. The Penal Battalion has lost 3 of its men inside the house, but a full rout off the field from those grenadiers is forced as they lose multiple men on each of the squads. None of them in danger of dying as the entire squad, but they did suffer some losses. Up in the far north, conscripts do manage to go for the cap of the point right outside the base, and we now have tier 2 and a scout car on the field for CaptainSPrice, as he will probably be upgrading that with an autocannon to try to deal with the Soviet scout cars. Bunker also getting laid down right outside the base for CaptainSPrice. Bit of a defensive bunker there, covering the strategic point so that he doesn't get cut off, but that's about as much as it's going to do. Scout car pops into the center, but there are now guard squads on the field for MoaningMinnie, and he stops the scout car cold, does a lot of damage to it, brings it down to about half health, and forces it to just back the hell off of the field. So for now, it looks like Moaning is going to essentially dominate the entire map, sends a conscript squad over to the right-hand side, which will be capturing this point, and he's currently working on capturing the center, although not really. He pops his guard squads into the house to be able to get vision, but he could, potentially move. Excuse me. He could potentially move something like, say, these combat engineers to the point and capture at the same time as he repairs or something like that. We do see a 120mm mortar now on the field. It could actually do with moving up a little bit more, but it's fine where it is, considering that it has the range. And the conscripts are, well, the Penal Battalion actually, back at base reinforcing. Some medics would also be nice at some point. And the conscripts are back out. So nice little combination here for Mr. Moaning. He has 3 conscripts, a Penal Battalion, a guard squad, 2 scout cars. And we now see the Germans flooding back out onto the field. MG42 following the Grant, scout car leading as he just, scouts and makes sure that there's nobody waiting for them outside the base. Pio's moving to the right-hand side. The conscripts are trying to capture that munitions point, but I feel they're not going to be able to do so. They'll probably be able to decap it, but I doubt they'll be able to actually go through with the capture, as we see Grants just flooding in this direction. 3 Grant squads followed up by an MG42 and a scout car waiting in the lines to intercept them. This conscript squad may actually die. I don't think it's going to be able to make it out of there because it's going to have to run through there. It Ura's back, might bolt over the fence, or over the wall. It will do that, but it's down to 3 men. Needs to retreat right now, and 18-8 does go off before it loses its life. But yeah, that conscript squad is a goner. Was caught out of position and, well, very quickly died. MG42 opening up on one of the scout cars, getting a lot of damage in there. You can see that scout car is now down to half health. Penal Battalion moves up. We do have that German scout car on the field, so the guards could do with moving into this scout car. But it'll need repairing before it is up for the task. And up in the far north, a Grand Squad is being used by itself just to recapture territory. More guards coming into the field for CaptainSPrice. We see a pack gun being built for CaptainSPrice. The guards were for MoaningMinnie. MG42 set up in a nice angle, catches guards and conscripts out in the open. Penal Battalion pops into the house and is going to be able to laying the hurt here on these Grands. The auto cannon on the scout car also adding into the damage there. And the okay, no, where's the conscript squad? It's retreating. There it goes. The guards managed to crawl themselves their way into some heavy cover, so they'll be able to break the suppression in a little while. MG42, in fact, is not even... Actually, it is still shooting at them, so they'll remain suppressed. Scout car moves in for the flank, gets itself right behind that MG42, able to clear it out and force it to pack up and leave. Scout car with the flamethrower pushes straight into the center, going to be opening up on the Pios. The Pios retreat. Guards Grenadier squad is the only thing in the way. Conscripts getting shredded as they're retreating. The scout car for CaptainSPrice being handled quite well. He backs it up, just ends up laying damage. Ooh, nice shot there by the mortar. Hits very near to the German scout car and puts the hurt. Guard squad pushes up, getting a lot of damage in on that German scout car. Nice nade on top of the Grenz. Grenz squad is eliminated, and the German scout car is the only thing in the way. It backs off as the guards push across the river, and they actually just sit there capturing the point, not pressing the advantage, but the scout car will just sit there. Mortar taking some shots at whatever it can, not hitting anything, but making it quite impactful where the shot lands, and the Combat Engineer squad pops out of the scout car to repair the other damaged vehicle. Back at base, Tier 3 now going down for MoaningMinnie. Penal Battalion and conscripts just reinforcing. Do we have medics? No, we still do not have medics. And the Grants over on the left-hand side have actually captured a decent amount of territory. They captured the fuel and are now capturing the strategic point, but we see a conscript squad running at them, managing to kill one of their men and forcing them to retreat as they get a little bit intimidated there, and off they go. Guard squads over on the right-hand side retreat as they do not want to get caught like their former conscript comrades and get eliminated. So they retreat. They do throw a grenade at the MG42 and kill one of its men, but it stays on the field. And the Grenadiers move over to the right-hand side just to recapture some territory. There's nothing nearby to stop them here. We see a guard squad moving in that direction. We'll probably pop into the house and defend from there. The mortar is just repositioning itself to be able to shoot at the approaching infantry. We have two empty scout cars on the field. Getting now chased down by the German scout car with that auto cannon. They will take a lot of damage. The conscripts are moving to try to intercept it. One of the scout cars is just sitting there in the front taking damage where it shouldn't. And the conscripts Ura Fort were trying to get the upper hand on that scout car, but the scout car backs off quite well and only leads the conscripts into certain death and demise. They take a lot of damage as there's a Grand Squad in the way and they're forced off of the field. They'll make it out of there alive, so they're just going to be just fine, but they take a little bit of damage. Grenadiers down south. It looks like they did also force away the other guard squad. So MoaningMinnie actually collapsing here, doing quite well early on, but he is now losing territory left and right. The center has been broken, and he is getting pushed on. He still has quite a bit in the field, including those two scout cars. We see the Penal Battalion pushing into the center, getting some damage in on that scout car. And we have conscripts as well. AT gun takes some shots at the scout car, but misses, thankfully, for MoaningMinnie. And the Penal Battalion is just getting shredded as it tries to pop into the church. Conscripts push across, getting the heavy cover from the wall. And we see a buttoning going down from one of the guard squad. But remember, do not use the buttoning ability at maximum range. You want to be close up there so that the vehicle cannot just simply slowly move out of the way and break the stun ability. Scout cars moving down south, getting right on top of that MG42. MG42 taking a lot of damage. The Grenadiers with their LMGs also opening up on the Scout car, doing a lot of damage as well, but they are taking damage themselves as well. One of the Scout cars, however, does not manage to survive the onslaught of the LMG and gets killed. The second one just moves up into range to get Fausted, and down goes the Scout cars. No more Scout cars on the field for MoaningMinnie, and the T-34 makes itself known now, but a little bit too late, as if he had had both the Scout cars and the T-34 at the same time, he would have, well, a lot. Second pack gun getting produced for CaptainSPrice as he retreats his forces from the center after a lot of Soviet forces push into his lines. He is in a lot better position than he once was, though. You can see now that the infantry count is actually higher than MoaningMinnie's. But there is that T-34 on the field that he has to deal with, and, well, he has 2 pack guns on the field for that. One of the pack guns is back here on the road. The other one just got produced and is coming onto the field right now. T-34 on the right-hand side forces away the Grand Squad, as the Grand Squad is just getting shot up by all the squads. Guard squads right in front of it just eliminate the Grenadier as he runs, and there goes one troop for, for CaptainSPrice. So the guards moving over to capture the right-hand side as conscripts move in as well. T-34 followed up by more guards. We have this point over here that is currently captured by CaptainSPrice. Nobody has gone to recap it, and it is not allowing this fuel point to connect. Not that I can see, at least. No, it should be disconnected. Conscripts moving up to the north as we have the Penal Battalion capturing that fuel. We have a Grenadier squad a little bit behind the lines there, kind of cut off here by a Penal Battalion and a conscript squad. T-34 moving in that direction, going to try to stop those Grenadiers from pushing forward. It does get itself into range of that Faust. The Faust will go through, and it'll get the rear armor hit and the crit on the engine. Grenadier squad retreats, and we see Grenadiers and MG42s moving in to stop the conscripts and the penals. So the Gren will just make it out of there just fine. It has a buffer of defense center. Conscripts retreating down to 1 man. I don't think they're going to make it out. Oh, wow, a nice hit there from the mortar. Actually ends up saving this conscript squad's life as it retreats, and it was down to 1 man, but 3 men died to that hit, and yeah, that was quite amazing. Nice grenade there on that MG42. Forces to pack up. The Penal Battalion continues to open up with SVT rifles, and the LMG on that Gren is the only thing in this direction. Center map, Pioneer squad just sitting around. We have Scout car on the field, just again sitting around. 2 pack guns out in the open in the ice. And the guard squad is engaging the Pioneer squad, and I'm going to laugh if a guard member dies. No, he's okay, they're fine. Okay. Right-hand side, we have a lot of troops, 2 combat engineers, and a conscript squad recapturing territory. Still nobody going for this point. Not exactly sure why not, but oh well. Scout car opening up on the infantry. Those are guard squads. Guard squads are able to open up on it with their PTRS rifles. They may also be able to pop into the house and get more damage on it. And there they go. The conscripts taking their position in the... Oh, rear armor hit on that scout car does a lot of damage, down to about 30% strength, but it makes it out of there, skidding through the ice, but stays alive. Grenadiers throw a rifle nade at that house. The guard squad down to 3 men. They forced off the field. Grenadier runs away as quickly as it sees the tank, and the conscripts are capturing the center point. Up north, Grenadiers capturing all over the place. And they get that fuel point back, and we see no tech just yet. We do have a med bunker on the field for CaptainSPrice. We also have medics back on the field for MoaningMinnie. And that T-34 is the only thing on the field right now as far as armor. Nasty mortar shots landing on the ice, getting some kills, but not too much. Oh, the T-34 is getting shot by the pack guns. I don't think it's going to make it out of there alive. Nope, there goes the T-34. AT guns, pack guns throw a volley there together and take it out. Big mistake there for MoaningMinnie. He has lost his edge on the field. A rifle nade goes through on the guards and the conscripts. They don't actually take too much damage though, but they do end up getting suppressed there by the MG42. One of the squads inside the house dies. I'm not exactly sure what it was. The conscripts pop in, they notice the house is on fire, and they pop right back out. And on the right-hand side, we have Grants and Pios just capturing territory as a combat engineer squad is just sitting here in the middle of the ice. It looks like it was a combat engineer squad that died at some point. Scout car still on the field now, Veteran C2. At Veteran C2, it gets improved sighting and weapon accuracy, so it's just going to be even more deadly. And the Penal Battalion runs into a Grenadier Squad down to 2 men. They're trying to retreat through the heavy snow. Can they make it out? The Penal Battalion is just ripping into this one man, but no, it decides to move itself into a different position where it's not going to be able to get any shots in. Big mistake there. Should have just stopped and continued shooting, and the Grenadier makes it out of there. But the point will get captured. 120mm mortar retreating from the field as it gets caught by some Pios. Guard squad trying to run to capture the scout car, and it looks like construction is going on outside the window. So if you hear that sob late, I do apologize, but well, hopefully it doesn't come through too heavily. Anyways, conscripts on the right-hand side. That scout car is still being a pain in MoaningMinnie's ass. He pops his guards into the house, gets some shots off with the PTRS rifles, but it just gets out of the way through the ice, just moving very slowly and in weird angles, but there it goes. And most German forces are now off of the field. We have Grenadiers on the right-hand side that pretty much manhandle these conscripts as they try to close the distance. Conscripts down to 3 men. They notice, wait, those are still 4 Grenadiers, so we're not really going to be able to survive that, and they retreat. Finally, down in the south, we see the combat engineers going to recapture this point as it's going to get essentially recapped by the Germans now. MG42 setting itself up right in the middle of the road. Guard squad pushing forward, running into a lot of Grens with a lot of LMGs. That is a lot of firepower going down on them, and they are at range where they excel, so the guards are forced to retreat, taking a lot of damage, but they make it out of there just fine. Mortar getting some shots into the ice. The conscripts trying to cross the ice and get a flank essentially on the LMGs, but only end up getting themselves ripped to shreds. Down to 2 men, barely make it out of there. Can't they actually make it out? Down to 1 man, LMG bursts go off, but he crosses the corner and gets into the safety of his own troops and makes it out of there. AT guns also providing some support fire there. We see one of the infantry members got killed there by one of the AT guns, but we have 3 pack guns on the field for CaptainSPrice, so really no vehicle at this point can hope to do anything, because, yeah, it's 3 pack guns. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to deal with that. I mean, maybe a KV-8 could go for a, flanking flamethrower run and destroy and decrew those guns, but, well, we see that, the Doctrine that MoaningMinnie selected is not going to give him KV-8s, so, yeah. Penal Battalion getting itself set up in heavy cover, opening up against Grens. The Grens might be able to throw a nice rifle nade on top of it, but we'll see. One of the members of the Penal Battalion does go down. The conscripts Ura to try to get themselves right on top of the Grens. The Grens shift position as they do not want to get Molotov, but the conscripts decide to just simply jump into the church. The Penal Battalion still in heavy cover, opening up against the Grens as well. The Grens are down a little bit of health, but the Penal Battalion is just losing men left and right. Down to 4 men at about half strength, will not be able to survive. We have a combat engineer squad on the right-hand side, just getting caught once again by the troops. This is a death trap right now for MoaningMinnie, as he has lost 2 members here because he has to retreat through this path. And there he goes, hits retreat, gonna run straight to the Pios, gonna run into the scout car, and the scout car will probably just chase it down and take down the combat engineer squad. The scout car already setting itself up for its death run and not even having to move an inch, and eliminates the entire squad on the retreat. Conscripts moving in that direction should probably not move by itself as they're going to get caught there. We see a Grenadier squad that could potentially just even intercept them when they try to retreat, so not a good decision there for MoaningMinnie. We see guards moving in this direction into the center, but there's not a thing for them to fight there right now. And we do have another mortar on the field for MoaningMinnie, as he decides to go for more infantry rather than getting more vehicles. Conscripts retreating from the right-hand side. They are at 3 men. They will take more damage and probably lose 1 more man to that LMG. No, actually they make it out just fine in 3 men, so a little bit of manpower saved. And Grenadiers, I mean Guard Squad are running to the right-hand side to engage these Grenadiers. Grenadiers are down to 2 men here, but we have 2 more squads at full strength. Nice grenade on top of that squad, but it manages to dodge it mostly intact. Nice mortar shot there on top of that. Gren Squad eliminates it completely. Second mortar shot landing nearby, but with 2 of those 1mm mortars, that is a lot of firepower going down on top of the Grens. The Grens are going to have to be very mobile now, very careful. We're down to 1 man on that 1 squad. Shots fly from the mortars, landing nearby where the Grens were. Good decision there for them to retreat, as they would have gotten pretty damaged there by that mortar shot. Center map, we have Penal Battalion going for the victory point. Victory points are 370 for MoaningMinnie, and 221 for CaptainSPrice. Nice, nice satchel charge on top of that. Gren Squad eliminates it completely. Very nice pickup there for MoaningMinnie. Gets himself a squad there. And the MG42 is just getting manhandled here by the mortars. Down to 1 man. Needs to get the hell out of there. It is a little bit of a lapse in, not judgment, but CaptainSPrice not paying too much attention to that one. He does pack it up and move it out of the way, but I don't think he's noticed that it's down to 1 man. He probably should retreat it. And there he does. Now he retreats it. Penal Battalion moving up to the north, going to run into the Pios. The Pios will have to run away as they'll die. And the scout car is still on the field. It has a sliver of health. It's not currently getting repaired. Needs repairs desperately, but it's still there. Excuse me. Guards and conscripts on the right-hand side, at the same time capturing the point. A little bit hesitant to move by themselves over to these points, as again, as I said, they're a little bit of a death trap. Could do with sending something to break, at least a hole in this fence here, but we'll see what happens. Center point, conscripts and guards moving in together. Nice little combination. We have conscripts and guards in both sides. Remember, you always have the merge ability if you want to keep your guard squad itself alive a little bit more. But considering that they don't really, they stay on the field a little bit more, but they don't have DP light machine guns right now, these guards or squads, so they, you don't benefit too much from merging with them. Those SVT rifles are nice, but I don't think it's a game breaker. Grenadier squad moves up. The guard squad decides to move themselves into the line of fire, or essentially the range of where the mortar shots may have landed, but they are very lucky as the mortar shots land a little bit wide. Guards trying to capture the point. MG42 opening up on them. Will be able to get a suppression, and there it goes. Conscripts set themselves up in heavy cover, and we see a T-3485 combat group getting called in. Moving over to the right-hand side. On the right-hand side, we see a conscript squad retreating as a guard squad retreat as well. Yeah, okay, so the troops on the right-hand side did make it out, so they're just fine. Oh, nasty shot there by the T-3485. Nails the Grenadier Squad. Grenadier Squad down to 1 man. Can the T-3485s catch it? They're shooting at it as it runs down to 1 man, but no, it makes it out. They're just alive, and that is an unfortunate, unlucky break there for MoaningMinnie. I gotta stop that. Anyways, Guard Squad in the center. Push away the Pios. The mortars. With 2 mortars now, that's actually doing a lot of work, because that's a lot of firepower and a lot of rate of fire, essentially. Scout card now did get finally fully repaired. Grenadier Squad retreating through a conscript squad, but it's a Grenadier Squad, so it'll be fine. The conscripts are better in C2, but, it's still Grenadier Squad. More shots landing nearby. Conscripts getting the hell out of the way. T-3485s just sitting in the island here, defending the right-hand side. And up in the north, we see Penal Battalion capturing territory. We actually have a new Penal Battalion. Huh, interesting. Not exactly sure what the consensus is on Penal Battalions now this patch. I mean, they did get changed. They no longer cost too much. They cost 270. And the conscripts cost 240, so they're not too much more expensive. And the reinforcement cost is like 2 more manpower than conscripts, so they're a lot more viable, I guess. But I don't know if they're worth it or not. I still like them. It's a nice, unit, but well, we'll see. Tier 3 down for. Excuse me. for CaptainSPrice, and he brings a Flakpanzer onto the field. We see, oh, a nasty mortar shot there on the MG42, and T-34 followed up shot, getting a lot of damage there on that MG42 and gets it out of the way. The Flakpanzer did do a lot of damage here to this penal battalion, forcing it away. But the T-34-85s make themselves known and say, hey, get out. There you go. We do still have 3 pack-ons on the field for CaptainSPrice, so these T-34-85s need to be very careful. A nice buttoning going down on that Flakpanzer. Does manage to break the suppression, and we have 3 pack-ons set up right in front of the T-34-85. T-34-85 is gone. It's gone. I mean, it's gone. You're not going anywhere. There it goes. Too greedy, too brave, and the Flakpanzer doesn't really take too much damage. We still have another T-34-85 on the field over on the right-hand side. It forced away a Grand Squad down to 1 man as we have guards and, well, conscripts are retreating. Oh, but they're retreating through the Flakpanzer. I don't think they're going to survive, and Mortar actually gets taken out by the Flakpanzer, and the conscript squad will go down as well. It's a 1-man squad. I don't think it's going to make it out of there. Shots fly, and there it goes. Down it goes. Unfortunate losses here for MoaningMinnie. He is trying to hold on. The guard squad is now retreating through the entirety of the enemy army. He's not going to make it. Flakpanzer will make sure of that. The scout car is there as well. We see the T-34-85 moves itself into the center and trying to get some shots in on the Flakpanzer. It does manage to actually do a lot of damage to the Flakpanzer, but the guard squad dies regardless, and T-34-85 knows that there's 3 pack-ons on the field and just gets the hell out of there. Needs to get the hell out of there, and there it goes. Yeah, I mean, those are too many pack guns to be able to deal with. Like I said, with these tanks, infantry has to close the distance and just decrew them and potentially destroy them afterwards, but you can't hope to push with tanks for much more than 5 seconds in any flank before the pack guns are set up. Yeah, that's what I tried to say. What? Mortar still on the field. It's decrewed. Could be recovered. We have a DP light machine gun for these guards. The guards did end up dying, but they left a present there for somebody. And we have a penal battalion pushing forward, which could do with a DP light machine gun. They would very much benefit from one. Penal battalion right in front of it is Veteran C3, however, so this one could do better with that. Guard squad pushing up. This guard squad could also just get the DP light machine gun themselves if they wanted to do the buttoning ability. And the penal battalion moves up, get themselves a DP light machine gun. It will not give them the ability to button. Oh, okay. They actually do have the DP light machine gun there, so never mind. Yeah, so yeah, one of the penal battalion picks it up. Nice grenade on top of both Grand squads, and oh, lot of damage. Down to 1 man on one of the Grands. Would they get the kill? No, the penal battalion moves up, gets itself shot by the LMG, doing some damage on the Grand squad itself, but the Grands are forced off. But the squads make it out of there alive. Still, MoaningMinnie is in a very dominant position. He has a lot of territory. However, because he does not have a lot of troops, CaptainSPrice is doing a awesome decision, and that is getting Flakpanzers. With Flakpanzers, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage to infantry, and just being supported by 3 pack guns, he is going to be able to push wherever he wants. Mortar does get recovered here by MoaningMinnie. Moves back. We have the other mortar coming back out into the field. CaptainSPrice, however, is down to 73 points, so MoaningMinnie only needs to hold on for a little bit longer, and he'll be able to get the win. He has 362 points to his name, but, well, there's 2 Flakpanzers on the field now. I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand that. Flakpanzers are getting a nice little flag there on that conscript squad. One shoots it from the front, forces it to move and hide behind the house, and the other one shoots it on the other side of the house. Flakpanzer now getting harassed here by the T-34-85. The T-34-85 moves in, gets a nice rear armor hit on the Flakpanzer, but the pack guns set themselves up at very nice angles, doing a lot of damage to T-34-85. Barely makes it out of there with a sliver of health left. Needs to move the hell out and go back home and repair. So that T-34-85 is out of commission for a long while. There is an MG42 on the field. The MG42 could open up with incendiary rounds and maybe even do enough damage to kill it, but it does not do that, so it's not a comical situation. The guard squads are moving in that direction as the conscripts come in for a nice little flank there on that MG42. I do like that movement there by MoaningMinnie. But guard squads can't really withstand Flakpanzers too long. I mean, they do a lot of damage to them, surprisingly enough, but I mean, they're infantry, so regardless, they're still infantry. MG42 opening up on the conscripts as they retreat. The Flakpanzer moves right on top of them, and it's gonna, well, not crush them because they're retreating, but it's just gonna kill them as they retreat down to 2 men. Second Flakpanzer moves in. More damage continues to fly down to 2 men, and there it goes. The MoaningMinnie is losing units left and right. He is in a very bad situation now. Those Flakpanzers are essentially unstoppable right now as long as they are within range of their pack guns for defense. They can be in the outskirts of the range, poke up and prod, you know, deal damage and such, and then just move back, and the T-34s try to move in to get the kill. You know, they're going to get killed themselves. T-34 can just fend them off. And that's about it, because it can't chase them down for the kill. So the Flakpanzers can just move in, do damage, back off, get repaired, move in, do damage, back off, get repaired. So MoaningMinnie is in a tough situation. He needs more tanks. He is saving up for another combat group. With 3 of them, he may be able to snipe one of the Flakpanzers if he catches one out of position. That might alleviate the pressure here, but victory points are down to 64 for CaptainSPrice. He does manage to decap the center point, so he stops the bleed at that. But considering the control that he has of the center right now, I think he's fine. Veterancy 2 is acquired on this mortar. That is more accuracy and rate of fire, so that's very nice. Guards moving up. Penal Battalion with a DP light machine gun moving up. And a 3rd Flakpanzer is getting produced by CaptainSPrice. Whoa, that is very ballsy. But again, pretty badass, I would say. So Penal Battalion just getting wrecked as it pushes forward. T-3045 moves up into the center where the Flakpanzers are. The Flakpanzers are not being defended just yet by the pack guns, but the pack guns move up, and they're gonna get defended just fine. Guard squad move in, getting some damage in on the Flakpanzer. T-3045 moves up, gets a nice damage there on that Flakpanzer, but the pack guns are now on the field. They actually shoot at the guard squad. The guard squad loses one of its PTRS rifles, and the T-3045 moves back to a little bit safer position. Another combat group on the field for MoaningMinnie, so this is the moment that he needs. He's not going to have a better opportunity. There are 3 Flakpanzers on the field, one of them coming into the field right now, so he needs to do damage, and that is kill the Flakpanzers. Because those pack guns are not going to die to the mortars, at least not easily. Engine damage. Who engine damaged? Oh, this T-3045 over here got engine damage from the Grenadiers. That is an unfortunate situation. We see the Flakpanzers cutting through the center, going straight for the mortars. They're going to do, well, not a lot of damage, but they do manage to do damage there. The combat group makes itself known, gets some damage in on one of the Flakpanzers. That is the lead Flakpanzer, but the pack guns set themselves up in position, getting a lot of damage on the T-3045s. This one's died. There it goes. Second one backs off, and no kill was acquired on one of the Flakpanzers. And this T-3045 just has to back off. The second one is down south. Now fully repaired, but it needed to be part of that fight to be able to at least snipe one of the Flakpanzers and alleviate the pressure, but it did not happen. Pack guns move themselves back down south, and they actually, oh no, they actually catch the T-3045 out of position. A lot of damage going down on the tank, and down goes the tank. MoaningMinnie is in bad shape now. He loses the entire combat group essentially. One of them is still alive, so that means the Flakpanzers can't just simply run into the base and destroy everything. But, well, he decides to throw a marked vehicle down on one of the Flakpanzers. Not entirely sure why the Flakpanzers will also be able to shoot down the plane, and there it goes. Crashes almost on top of the T-3045, and there it goes. The, what was it? The Penal Battalion on the right is forced away, and yeah, the Flakpanzers are now just sitting pretty there in the center, getting repaired, and the pack guns are nearby. That's a very nice tactic, very nice strategy there. Flakpanzers defended by pack guns. It's not impervious, like I said, but it's very difficult to deal with. I mean, because, well, pack guns are very good against tanks, but you would say, well, all you need to do is use infantry to clear those out. But you can't get the infantry close to it because there's, you know, Flakpanzers. Panzer IVs wouldn't really work that way because they're not really good against infantry, so it's a little bit more viable. I mean, I think in this situation, I mean, I don't think MoaningMinnie has much of a chance now, but I think he should have maybe gotten a sniper earlier on, trying to clear out the pack gun. but, well, hindsight is 2020, and again, I mean, it may not have worked, as, you know, snipers are very fragile. So on the right-hand side, we see a push getting led by the T-3045. T-3045 just goes down very quickly to the pack guns, as the pack guns just moved in that direction slowly but steadily, and they, well, killed the T-3045. No more tanks on the field for MoaningMinnie. He is gone. That's it. I don't think he's going to be able to do much else. Guard squad moving in that direction as well. The mortars setting themselves up across the river, opening up on whatever they can, but 3 Flakpanzers. 3 Flakpanzers. I mean, the 3 Flakpanzers right now, at this moment, they can just simply move in this direction and slaughter these infantry. These infantry are out of position. They have no support, and they have to run miles to get back home, and in very weird angles. Mines getting laid down, potentially trying to catch tanks or infantry on them, but yeah. So we now see guards capturing points. We see mines getting laid down. Nice decision there for MoaningMinnie. Like I said, that may catch a Flakpanzer unaware, but there's no follow-up. I mean, you need at least a tank to be able to disable a tank there with the engine there, the damage, and then follow it up and kill it. So mines getting laid down as a ambush, essentially, a trap. Penal Battalion moving back out onto the field. We see AT guns now on the field for MoaningMinnie. Yeah, that probably should have happened before. He did have the back tech for Tier 2 as he went Tier 1, Tier 3. Which is the problem from going Tier 1, Tier 3, because you don't have the anti-tank capabilities that you would want. Usually speaking, you go Tier 1, Tier 4, if you only wanted to go for two tiers. Because, you know, with Tier 4 you have the Su-85's really good anti-tank capability, but I mean, I don't know why he went. I mean, not that it's bad, but I don't know why he went Tier 3. He went Tier 3 to get a T-34, and that's all. That's all he got from that tech, so. I don't know. It may have been whatever. I shouldn't see in ifs and maybes, but you know, ifs and buts. Oh, Penal Battalion's just not even able to move. That is just sad. It gets destroyed. They do manage to decrew the MG42, and the guards just run away. The mortars also running away with their big-ass chopping carts of destruction, and they make it out. They were sufficiently far away. AT gun on the field will be able to get some shots in on those Flakpanzers. Actually, it doesn't, as they move into the line of sight breaking building. So yeah. 266 points still left for MoaningMinnie. He is going to get triple cap now, so that's going to start speeding up on the bleed. And he is building himself another AT gun to try to combat those Flakpanzers. But at this point, I mean, what can he do? I don't think there's anything he can do. Doctrine selection is not going to allow him to destroy those AT guns or the Flakpanzers very quickly. Mark vehicle is not really even going to work, considering that it's a plane that flies around and there's 3 Flakpanzers that will shoot it down very quickly. Mine getting hit over on the left-hand side by one of the Flakpanzers. But again, like I said, if there's no follow-up, that mine is not really going to have too much of an effect. It's just disables the engine a little bit and forces them away. Combat engineers just going to die. They're not even going to be able to decap the point. Nope, they actually die very quickly. Penal Battalion also trying to retreat, getting itself just shot down by the Flakpanzers, down to 3 men. Can they make it out? They do, just barely. And we have AT guns on the other side of the river. Which... Huh. Okay. Oh my god, do we still have this? We still have the scout car on the field. The original scout car that CaptainSPrice built is still there. He's not even moving it with the Flakpanzers anymore because he doesn't need to. He has 3 Flakpanzers. So this guy's just sitting there in the center. Like the MVP, essentially. Yeah, that's a painful situation here for MoaningMinnie. Mortars moving back to the right. AT guns setting up across the river. Not moving together, however. Not exactly sure why not, although I guess this one is here for the fence so that the Flakpanzers will just move into the base, but... MoaningMinnie does have a lot of fuel. He does need to save up in manpower to be able to call in another combat group. But, well, we see the AT gun here. The AT gun is not going to be able to stop Flakpanzers. It'll get some shots in on one of them, maybe. But, you see... 4th Flakpanzer on the field for MoaningMinnie. AT gun does get a shot off on the lead one. doing some damage to it, but it just, you know, backs off the field. And where's the other one? Oh, it's up here in the north, getting repaired. Its engine is a little bit shaky there. What does it get? Rate of fire and anti-air capabilities at veteran C2. Bunkers getting laid down all over the place. We have a reinforcement bunker out as well. Infantry just pushes into the center to get ripped into pieces. Yeah, get him out now. Oh no, even the AT gun is out of position. AT gun moves up to try to intercept and defend. One gets a shot off, but now it's just getting destroyed by the Flakpanzers. The other one is not even deciding where it wants to put itself. And shot in the rear armor to one of the Flakpanzers, shot in the rear armor to the other one. Second shot might fly. No, managing to get themselves out of. And now, oh my God, 4 Flakpanzers at the same time. AT guns go down. MoaningMinnie does not have a prayer in this world. He is done. He has a penal battalion, a conscript, and that is a new conscript squad, which is just out there right now. And the 2 mortars. Never seen Oswin spam before. Well, that is because it's not really viable, Oswin spam per se, like just trying to spam Oswins. This is because, well, MoaningMinnie allowed him to get into the position where he could essentially build an armada of Oswins. Because of the pack guns, and that is the only reason. Because even the T-34-76 could deal with the Ostwind by itself, but the backup of the pack guns is what is crucial here. So not really much else left to say. Just wait for the game to wind down. We see, you know, MoaningMinnie sending his troops over to the north, you know, changing angles, at least not, you know, smashing his face against the wall of Flakpanzers. But, I mean, there's not much else he can do. He lost his AT guns, are now right there on the field. CaptainSPrice could just destroy them or something, but no, it looks like he's going to go for one last run. No, he's going over to the right to capture, or not capture, but catch the units that are, you know, behind the lines. He's actually moving his Flakpanzers to catch the mortars out of position. 1 mortar squad down to 3 men, down to 1, getting destroyed. The second one does make it out of there alive, but the Flakpanzers are now moving to put themselves in between the infantry up in the north and the retreat path, so these guys are not going to make it out of there. The conscripts Ura to get in range for an 18-8 for some odd reason. They do manage to get the 18-8 off on the Flakpanzer, but then just get annihilated. The penal battalion is just moving itself back, and we see, what was that, a bombing strike on top of something? A bombing strike right on top of the retreated mortar squad back at base. And we see the T-34-85 combat group coming into the field, going straight up to the north to try to catch the Flakpanzers. This is going to be an interesting fight. Can 4 Flakpanzers deal with 2 T-34-85s? They are going to do damage to them, but they are taking a lot of damage themselves. T-34-85s move up. They are undecided on what they actually want to shoot at. They are focusing on one of the Flakpanzers. One Flakpanzer taking a lot of damage, down to about 30% strength. It hits Blitzkrieg to try to get itself out of the way, but it is getting stopped by its other guy. The pack guns, however, move in that direction and just take out the T-34-85 in the lead, and the second one just backs off as it wants to stay alive. No more infantry on the field for MoaningMinnie. He decides to build another conscript squad just because he doesn't want to throw in the towel. A little bit brave of him, or valiant, but I mean, it is obviously futile at this point. Victory points are down to 102 points for MoaningMinnie, and we see that CaptainSPrice is just sitting comfortably. He didn't even lose his Flakpanzer. I mean, this guy got battered, but it stayed alive. And again, the crux in this is these guys. 3 pack-ons on the field. You're not going to be able to do much with 3 pack-ons on the field, especially against someone that can move them quite effectively like CaptainSPrice, because, well, he has them everywhere. I mean, it didn't take him very long to get the AT guns into this fight. I mean, So the T-3045 decides to go for a kamikaze run and go straight into the enemy base. There is a Grenadier squad nearby, which will be able to just shut it down and Faust it. So the T-3045 is not even able to get what it wants, and that is to, go nuts in the enemy base. The Grenadiers move back, and here comes the pack guns. The pack guns are just moving back in every direction going into the enemy base. The T-3045 just backs itself up into a corner, which is not a bright idea there. The Grenadiers are down to 2 men. They're still trying to chase it down, getting a Faust off on it, and it looks like they actually got in range. No, they managed to keep it away. T-3045 continues to back off, staying in range and getting some shots off on the Grens. Gren squad does go down. Pack guns, however, set themselves up in an angle to catch the T-3045. T-3045 goes down. 3 pack guns can't stand a chance, and there it goes. So the conscripts are back at base, and that is all she got. MoaningMinnie says GG. He's not going to wait anymore at this point because he knows he doesn't stand a chance, and there she goes. So yeah, very good game here by CaptainSPrice. He was in a tough situation, but he managed to pull it back. But yeah, those 3 pack guns were the key. I mean, let's see, we have 2 infantry and 4 vehicles on one. We have 2 vehicles and 1 infantry and even a building on the other. And where's the other pack gun? It's over here. And that is 1 vehicle on that. So that's a lot of vehicle kills on pack guns combined. But yeah. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.